Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mangs, and today I got something very cool to share with you guys. Today we're going to be talking about some Advanced Wars Reboot Camp leaks that I have been provided. Now, when dealing with leaks, we always have to be a little bit skeptical, always have to take them with a pinch of salt, because it's always very difficult to verify whether or not leaks are correct or not. Now, I have covered leaks on this channel before. You guys remember that I covered the infamous Castlevania emblem leaks that turned out to be completely false. But then I also covered the Tannibomb Tree Houses leaks, which turned out to be practically 100% correct. So when you cover leaks, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. It's not always easy to verify the authenticity of leakers, but I will say that the person that I talked to on Discord seemed pretty damn legit to me. He is someone who has worked with WayForward, he's been on the development team, and he gave me very specific and precise information about the game. I would like to say that having done this for as long as I have, I am very good at spotting when someone is clearly lying, especially in terms of leaks. Even when I covered the so-called Castlevania emblem leaks on the channel, I did say multiple times that I thought they were fake, but I covered them anyway because I was bored and I thought they were kind of interesting. After talking to this guy for several hours on Discord, I will say that he seems pretty damn legit to me, and the things that he shared seem pretty real. And while he didn't show me any screenshots of the game itself, because apparently you're not allowed to even keep phones on you when you work on this, they're very strict in that regard, he did show me a couple of pictures of his work environment, and it seemed pretty damn legit to me. And after we were done talking, he requested that I delete our logs because he was very scared about it coming out. He was of course okay with me making a video about the leaks as long as I kept his name a secret, which I very much intend to do. But in terms of the authenticity of the leaks themselves, I will just say, take them with a pinch of salt. They may be real, they may not be real. We will find out soon enough when the game launches on the 3rd of December. Either way, I think it's interesting to make a video about this in case they happen to be real, but don't take this as fact. Even though I say I have a good feeling about this, that does not mean that they are legit. This guy could be fake, you never know, the internet is full of liars, so just keep a critical mind, that's all I'm gonna say. However, with that out of the way, I'm going to be covering these leaks as if they are legit, so let's get started. So the first leak we're going to be talking about is the fact that there will be partial voice acting in the reboot camp. Now, most of the lines in the campaign will not be voiced, it's going to be dialogue only, as we have seen so far in some of the trailers that have been shown. However, when the COs activate their CO powers, they're going to be yelling out various lines, kind of like critical quotes from Fire Emblem. And my source did provide me with a couple of voice actors. This wasn't 100% confirmed, but apparently these names have been mentioned. Max is going to be voiced by Aaron Hansen. Andy is going to be voiced by Veronica Taylor. Olaf, come by an Eagle, is possibly voiced by Patrick Seitz. Grit is possibly voiced by Matthew Mercer, and Colin is possibly voiced by Laura Bailey. Again, this wasn't 100% confirmed in terms of the voice actors themselves, this was just sort of hinted, I guess you could say. But it's absolutely confirmed that there will be partial voice acting, and that even certain important lines in the campaign might have some voice acting to them. So the next bit of information I was given was regarding the functionality between Advanced Wars 1 and Advanced Wars 2, how they're going to be working together. So many of us believe that there's going to be two games in one, essentially. You launch up the Advanced Wars reboot, you'll get the option to play either Advanced Wars 1 or Advanced Wars 2. Apparently that's not how it's going to function. Instead, you'll be given the option to toggle Advanced Wars 1 or Advanced Wars 2 whenever you create a game in Versus mode. So you create a game in Versus mode, you select your COs, and then you get the option to select either Advanced Wars 1 or Advanced Wars 2. If you select Advanced Wars 1, you will only have normal powers available. If you select Advanced Wars 2, you'll get superpowers and the ability to build Neotanks. This is very interesting. Now, what my leaker couldn't respond to, or what he couldn't answer, was whether or not you can, for example, play Adder in Advanced Wars 1 mode. Like, I asked specifically, can you select Advanced Wars 2 COs in Advanced Wars 1? And he said he wasn't sure, but you can select all of them for the War Room, apparently. So maybe? But this is very interesting. This goes to show that there probably won't be two separate COs for Advanced Wars 1 and Advanced Wars 2. Instead, selecting Advanced Wars 2 will only enable superpowers and Neotanks and other Advanced Wars 2 exclusive features. So it turns out that this very much is going to be one game. It's just going to have two options in it. So up next, we're going to be talking about online multiplayer, and this is something that a lot of people have been very worried about, whether or not this game will have online multiplayer at all. According to my source, it will have that. In fact, there will be an in-game lobby where you can set up matches. However, he was also very worried because according to him, WayForward hasn't tested the online multiplayer features at all. Apparently, they've been very focused on implementing features and fixing bugs in single player, and they've kind of been pushing the online multiplayer playtesting to the sidelines. He said he actually thought they wouldn't be able to test it at all until launch, which makes me very worried. He says they're not very focused on it, and apparently to this day I think it's still untested and still needs a lot of work. So yeah, that makes me very nervous. Like, online multiplayer is like the one reason why I'm excited about the reboot, and if they screw that up, I think they're gonna screw up the whole game majorly, because I think the online competitive multiplayer scene is going to very much dictate whether or not this game gets popular or not. I mean, sure, if the single player bit is good, people are just gonna play the single player and then the game will be forgotten. If the multiplayer scene is good, this game can be kept alive for years and years and years, just like the old original Advanced Wars has. So again, this makes me very worried. I hope he's wrong on this regard. Ugh. So up next, my source confirmed to me that there will be a design room that allows you to create maps, just like in the original Advanced Wars games, and that he thought you would be able to share these maps online. However, he said that you wouldn't be able to create games in the multiplayer lobby with your own maps. He thought that maybe there would be implemented some sort of functionality to share maps with other players, but that you couldn't go into the multiplayer lobby and then create a game with one of your own maps. I sure hope you will be able to do that. In fact, I think Wargroove did this very well. Wargroove had an excellent system for sharing maps. I think that was one of the few things they did right with their online multiplayer launch. You could basically upload multiplayer maps to a database and people could download them. And then you could create games with your own maps and people could simply click the map to download them. It was a very good system, and I hope WayForward actually learns a little bit from Wargroove, because they did do some things very well. Now, this next one is going to be very interesting, because I asked my source basically if they plan on doing any balance changes to the game, and he said that they're going to be very faithful to the original. However, he did reveal that they toned down Max. I asked him, will Max have the 50% extra firepower on a day-to-day basis that he had in Advanced Wars 1, and he basically answered, oh hell no, he definitely will not be this strong. However, this was something that they discussed a lot, apparently, whether or not they were going to stay completely faithful to the game, or if they were going to make small balance changes, and apparently they are making small balance changes. It seems like Max might actually be at his plus 20% from Advanced Wars 2, as opposed to his plus 50% from Advanced Wars 1, and this makes me very happy to hear. I definitely hope this is going to be the case. So up next, we're going to be talking about the difficulty. I asked my source whether or not the advanced campaign was going to be as hard as it was in the original. We're going to see the return of maps like Combi's Error and Rivals, with their brutally punishing maps, basically, that required like turn-perfect execution to beat. And he told me that there's actually going to be 3 difficulties in both of the campaigns. There's going to be casual difficulty, classic difficulty, and then challenging difficulty. Now, casual and classic difficulty will be available right from the start. You can play on classic mode on your first playthrough if you want to. However, in order to play on challenging difficulty, you need to beat the campaign first on classic mode, and then you will be able to buy the challenging difficulty from Hachi. And according to him, the challenging difficulty is ridiculously hard. He played the final battle against Sturm, and he said it took him 80 days to beat it. That's how hard it was. Now, I don't know how good this guy is as a player. He said he's pretty good at Advanced Wars, that he's been playing it for a long time, but he said that it was ridiculously hard. So I do wonder if you play on challenging mode, if Combi's Error and Rivals are going to be as brutally punishing as they used to be. I also asked him if the AI was similarly dumb, and he said that the AI gets progressively smarter the further into the campaign you go. He said there was a big spike in the AI's intelligence after Olaf's Sea Strike, which is like 1/3 through the campaign. He said that the AI got a lot smarter. So it turns out that they have made upgrades to the AI, and that, well, with these new difficulty modes, we're gonna have a pretty rough campaign. It sounds like challenging difficulty is comparable to the original advanced campaign from Advanced Wars 1. And with a smarter AI on top of that, that sounds pretty freaking rough. But yeah, this is pretty huge. If this is true, then it's gonna be quite a different experience, I think. I do actually like that there's 3 difficulties as opposed to 2. There was a pretty big jump between normal and advanced campaign in the original Advanced Wars 1, and I think it's a good thing that we actually have 3 difficulties now. And this also means that, for example, when I get around to playing the game, it means that I don't have to play it on the lowest difficulty. I can jump straight to classic mode and play that before unlocking challenging mode. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of the name, challenging difficulty. It doesn't sound very epic in my opinion. They should have called it like Master or Veteran or something like that, but hey, maybe it'll get changed, you never know. Up next, we're going to talk about the music. Now, I don't think it will come as a surprise to most of you that the music is going to be remastered, and according to my source, it is incredibly good. He was very happy with the game's soundtrack. Apparently, they listened to it a lot at the office, and they really liked it. However, there's something really cool regarding CO powers. When a CO pops their CO power, a little sound effect will play, similar to Advanced Wars 1, but then something really cool will happen. During the turn that they activate their CO powers, you're going to get sort of like a remixed, hyped up and amped up version of their original CO theme. So, for example, Adder, you know, his normal CO theme usually plays and it sounds pretty good. However, when he pops his power, you'll get like a hard rock punk version of his CO theme playing instead for the turn that he pops his power, which I think sounds absolutely amazing. And apparently that was like a favorite among the office as well. Adder's theme was apparently like it's really metal when he pops his power. So this means that there's actually multiple variants of each CO theme, and if this is true, then it's really cool. I absolutely adore this. You know, in the original Advanced Wars, you only got the little sound effect when the power was popped and then nothing more. And in Advanced Wars 2, you had like unique themes depending on whether or not you were the good guys or the bad guys. You know, the Black Hole COs had their own CO power themes, and then everyone else shared a different one. But now every CO will have their own unique theme. It's kind of like, I would say it's comparable to the fire versions of the newer Fire Emblem tracks, you know, how they go in and out of combat. You know, you have the Ablaze version and then you have the Calm version, basically. I think it's similar to that in a way. You're just gonna have a more amped up version of the CO theme playing during your powers. This is incredibly cool, and I can't wait to hear the tracks if this is actually real. So up next is a very interesting addition that they've made to the game, and if this is true, it's incredibly interesting. You guys remember how they cloned Andy in Advanced Wars 1, and how you run into him in the mission Andy x2, you have to fight against him? However, aside from having some slightly altered dialogue, he's no different from the real Andy. He just kind of says like beep boop, hyper repair, beep boop, but he doesn't look any different, he still looks like Andy. Well, in the reboot, Clone Andy will actually be his own unique character. He'll actually have a unique look. He'll have blue glowing eyes, and not only will he look different, he will have unique looking troops as well. His Orange Star troops they'll look like Orange Star soldiers, but they will have blue skin for some reason. I don't know why. But not only that, he'll have unique lines, he'll have a lot more dialogue in the campaign itself. He was described as being an edgy version of Andy. But not only that, you can play as Clone Andy in the War Room and in Versus mode. He will actually be his own unique CO. He'll have the same powers as real Andy, but for some reason his superpower is renamed Hyper Teardown instead of Hyper Upgrade. So he's basically just like a reskinned Andy. Like, his power and superpower still does the same thing, but they'll have unique graphics. He will have his own like power activation cinematic. With like electricity is gonna spark out of his eyes. So that is super interesting. You can actually play as Clone Andy, as his own unique CO, and that makes me think whether or not they'll add like unique reskins to other COs as well. That's incredibly interesting. I mean, I love that. Like, I think having unique CO skins, that's something I desperately wanted for the reboot. So the fact that they're doing this with Andy, it might just be a one-off since Andy is like a clone in the campaign. But if they do that with other COs as well, that would be incredibly cool. So up next, we're going to be talking about Eagle, and he is going to be insane in the reboot if these leaks are true, because apparently he's going to work exactly like he did in Dual Strike. He is going to have his Lightning Drive mini power, which is going to be sort of like Lightning Strike, but it's going to be with reduced firepower and defense, and then he's going to have his Lightning Strike superpower, which is like, you know, Lightning Strike, which will like give him actually bonuses. So he's going to be incredibly good. Like in Advanced Wars 2, he had his very bad power Lightning Drive, which just gave his air StarCraft a small boost to firepower and defense. No one ever used it. It was probably the worst normal power in the game. But in the reboot, he's going to work like in Dual Strike. He's going to have a bad lightning strike and a good lightning strike, and that is going to be incredible if this is true. And here's the interesting bit. We actually do know that his power is named Lightning Drive in the reboot. We have seen confirmation of this. I reacted to this when I first saw it because they showed a small clip of the mission where you first meet Eagle, and you actually get to see him activate his power there, and we can see that it is actually named Lightning Drive. So this definitely supports this leak, and I think that's very interesting. So I'm very excited to see this. Eagle is most likely going to be one of the best commanders in the Advanced Wars reboot if this is true. So up next, we're going to be talking about some CO redesigns and how they're going to be looking a little bit different in the reboot camp. Now, first off, Sami fans, I got some very bad news for you. The Sami that we see in the trailer, this is not how she's going to look. Apparently, they redesigned her after the trailer was launched. They thought she looked too cutesy and not assertive enough. Apparently, her redesign will make her look a lot sterner. She's going to be looking more like a commando and less smiley and goofy, apparently. So yeah, this little cute Winxie Sami that you see right here, not how she's going to be looking in the reboot. She's going to be looking similar, but her posture will be different. Her facial expression will be sterner. She might be wearing a slightly different outfit. Again, my source said that she looks more like a commando now. And here is some additional information regarding the CO redesigns. Sonya will apparently be wearing glasses, just like she did in the Japanese version, and she's going to be looking very cocky, apparently. She's going to be very arrogant in her cinematic. She's going to be like pushing her glasses up and do like a smirk and be like very, ha 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 ha, I'm so amazing. So they really amped up her cockiness. Flak is going to be extremely muscular, and he's going to be wearing some different tank goggles. Kombai is going to look very imperial with an army outfit as well as a cape, apparently. Lash is apparently going to be amped up in terms of her sexiness. She's going to be wearing very baggy shorts and a tube top instead of the outfit that she wears in Advanced Wars 2. And she's just going to be looking a lot more sexualized. She's going to be like the goth GF. So yeah, Lash fanboys rejoice, I guess. Adder is apparently going to look incredibly scary in the reboot. He's going to have caved-in eyes, and when he activates his CO power, he's going to be slithering around like a snake and just generally look insanely creepy. Jess is going to look a lot more muscular. She's going to have a very defined upper body and a very sharp jawline. My source said that he thought Jess looked absolutely amazing in the reboot. And finally, Sturm is going to look incredibly badass. My source said that Sturm was by far his most favorite design. He looks like a mixture between Darth Vader and Alexei Stukov from StarCraft. He has a massive coat. He looks absolutely huge. He's going to be very similar to his Advanced Wars 2 design. And when he activates his CO power, smoke will come out of his mask, just like it did in Advanced Wars 1 whenever he wins an engagement. So that is pretty insane. If this is true, then I am very excited for the CO redesigns. Apparently, Sami was like the only letdown, according to my source. All the other COs look absolutely amazing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for now. This is all the information that I got from our conversation. If my source reveals more information, maybe I'll make another video in the future, but as always, guys, please do take everything said in this video with a big pinch of salt. I am making a video about it because I find it humorous, but I do know that I am taking a big chance here. This could be a person that is just making shit up as we go. Again, the only, like, verifiable proof that he showed me was a couple of photos from his workplace. One of the photos was actually a picture of, like a Zoom meeting with his coworkers where they were discussing the changes, but these are things that can be easily faked, and of course there is absolutely no 100% way to actually, you know, trust this guy. Like, he could just be someone that lies and is having a great time, but I don't know. During my conversation with him, I did get the impression that he was pretty legit, but as always, we can never truly know until the game comes out. When the game comes out, we'll be able to know if these leaks are legit or not. I just thought it was fun to make a video about it, but again, please temper your expectations. Don't take this as gospel. Could just be a bunch of hogwash for all we know, but that's always the case when covering leaks. Either way, if these leaks actually are true, do you guys like them or do you guys dislike them? Which of the ones did you like and which of the ones did you dislike? And do you have any other hopes or fears for the reboot when it comes out? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, my name is Mangs, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.